Hey everybody, this is Essence Design Media, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a simple server in Java using the NetBeans IDE. So let's start off by making a new project, basic Java application. Going to go ahead and name that simple server, my bad. Alright, so you want to get started by importing what we're going to need for the project. So we're going to need a lot of things from Java I/O. This includes things like Java I/O exception. There we go. Another like Java I/O.object input stream, which will help us accept input from clients that connect to our server. Java I/O dot object dot can't talk today. Object input output stream. I'm already repeating myself. Java I/O server socket. I'm sorry, Java.net server socket. Java.net.socket. So basically, these are going to have the resources that we're going to need in order to do a socket-based server. Now, what I'm going to do next is basically just going to create instances of objects that are provided by the imported resources. This is going to include basically all of this. So don't mind me while I just create these. Wow, look at that, I'm done. Yay. Okay, so basically I created an instance of server socket, object input stream, and output stream. Gave the socket server and gave server socket the name server, and our socket just connection, because that's what our connection is going to be based off. The connection, the socket that we bind it to, my bad. And now here comes the real coding. Not this. This is just commenting. Paying no attention to this. I'm really OCD about this. Now, in working with sockets, you want to make sure you place most of your things inside a try-catch block in case funky errors happen. Because who knows, the socket you decided to choose might be binded already, it might be in use, and that alone could cause a nightmare. Let's say that you actually already are connected to the client and don't even know, and that within itself could cause funky errors. And it's just a good practice to put everything inside a server. My bad. Yes, put everything inside a server. I'm going to say everything inside a try-catch block. Not only is it good practice, but NetBeans kind of forces that on you. So let's go ahead and do that. Just for time's sake, it's not the best practice, but I'm just going to go ahead and catch every I/O exception possible that can be detected, and I am just going to print it out to console. I could already hear the comments saying you shouldn't do that. But for more advanced handling, you're gonna have to dig into it on your own a little bit. This tutorial's not gonna cover too much on it. Sorry about that. With requests, so I will make a proper tutorial on I/O handling if you guys want. Anyway, let's go ahead and create a new server socket. Let's see. This seems like a good port. Don't you guys think? Now, the second argument right here is going to be basically the queue. since this is a single threaded server that I'm creating, so it's just a simple server, it's only going to accept one connection at a time on this port. With multi-thread servers, you could do something like 5, 10, as many as you want. And you can handle multiple requests, and they basically just get put on a queue. And as you handle them, they get taken out. So this is the port I'm willing to use. Now I want to make sure that if I'm able to use that port, I'm able to create a connection off of that. So the connection is going to be assigned to the socket being able to use that port. Now let's see. I want to add some I/O. Whoops. Freaked out there a little bit. I want to show which client I'm connected to. I don't want to just connect random people. String.format. Can make it all nice and fancy. Let's see. I'm gonna make it print out who I'm connected to. So I'm gonna first get their INET address. Then from there I'm gonna branch off and get their host name. So now this should print out the host name of the client I'm connected to. In most cases this is just going to be a localhost, just for testing purposes. Alright, so we have our connection. Now I want to make sure that we attach our streams to it. So we could do input and output to the client, or else, what's the whole point of networking, right? So now I'll make the code a little bit cleaner. I'm just going to make a new method. Alright, so this will be called in here. Alright, so one important fact when you're trying to bind the input and the output streams, you always, and always, I cannot stress this enough, I spent hours just trying to figure out this issue. You always want to create your object output stream first, every single time. Why? Well, you see, you always want to send before you receive. That sounds a little weird, but you just don't want your server to listen for input for a new stream before. Wow, I'm not wearing this really correct, aren't I? Basically, you want to send a header to the client telling them that this is the kind of information I'm going to be sending. I'm this kind of server, so and so. So, in order to connect that, you use a connection object, which is basically the socket. Use a new object output stream constructor and give the connection dot output stream. You also always want to make sure that you flush your output stream every time you send something, every single time. In this case, this is just gonna send a header since you're first initially starting it. And then after you do that, you could create your object input stream. And whoops, what am I doing? Forgot to connect that. There we go. Now that's done, we have our streams. Okay, so now that we got our stream set up, our server is gonna constantly listen for commands. But in this case, it's gonna just basically echo out everything that it receives. So I'm gonna create a new method. Again, to keep the code clean. That's what it's all about, guys. Clean code. There we go. Alright. Yet again, more try and catch statements. Gotta be safe, everybody. Don't want to burn the world now. Well, if you do, don't include me in it. I don't want to get sued. There we go. Basically, I'm gonna have the same format as our previous try catch blocks. Exception. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell exception. But just to be safe. There we go. Alright. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a new string called message. And basically this is going to hold everything, well not everything, it's going to hold the output of the client, which the server is going to receive on its input stream, and it's going to hold it inside a string object, like so. I'm going to cast it to a string because read object is just going to read anything and try to convert it to an object. And so we're going to cast it to a string so we don't get an error. Alright. And that is just going to be spit out by the server. Alright. Now, since I want this to repeat forever and ever, there we go. Well, maybe we shouldn't make it forever and ever, right guys? It's a nesting nightmare, guys. Nesting nightmare. Let's see. What should we make it, guys? We'll just make it quit. So whenever the client says quit, the server begins to die. Then I'll do it. I forgot to include one thing. There we go. This is in case you have any casting problems. There we go. We're this little bit wrong. There we go. Now I'll do this for both of those errors. Little comments don't hurt. Alright. So, It's going to create a new string called message. It's going to infinitely read from the server input stream. And it's going to get whatever's in there and spit it out. And if you send it quit, the server will die. Seems good enough right now. Let's make sure we call it. There we go. And listen to the client. I bet everyone at work is tired of hearing that. Listen to the client. And now that we are listening to the client and we got our stream set up, you want to make sure that you always close everything, any sort of connections at the end. You want to make sure you create them in reverse order. So we're going to start off with a connection.close, then output. You guys guess what the next one is? If you guess input, you got it right. And last and not least, server.close. Oh, you know what? Let's yet again put this in its own method, because this should also be I'll show also be inside its own try catch block in case something happens on here and it's not able to close the connections. I'm telling you guys, you can never be too safe. There we go. So yeah, it's fairly easy to make a server. It's just, you gotta remember to be safe with all the try and catch blocks, because lots of things could go wrong with networking. Oh, almost forgot. Let's put it here. Let's print out our error in case something bad happens. There we go. Oh, and yet again I forgot a little bit something. There we go. Now it's spelled right. There you go, guys. A simple server. Now my next tutorial will be the simple client. So don't worry guys, I'll be up soon. And please comment and subscribe. I am more than willing to take your guys' feedback on how I can make these videos better. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and you guys are awesome. Thanks.